There is an article that has been brought to my attention. It is published by Boat US, which is the authority in boating safety, and it has to do with docking. And there are so many different styles of docking situations that it's really impossible to say what sort of mayhem might lie in store for you the next time you try to dock. That said, through the years, we've identified a few, this is again from the Boat US page, they've identified a few chronic troublemakers that lead to bona fide docking disasters. So the next time you pull the throttles back and prep the lines, be on the lookout for some of the most common calamity creators when docking. And
Triple C.
Yeah, definitely true. Kevin, let's start with an important question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in your docking skills?
Probably an 8.5. I've, really done a lot of research. I've had a lot of practice living on a peninsula. And I think docking really pertains well to this area. Not only are we surrounded by water, but it also ties into what Colin Bester was talking about, because historically, the Blue Angels, the Thunderbird shows are viewable from the water. So there will be a lot of docking at these air shows as well.
Well, it's not Navy, so maybe a little less. But, I really haven't, it's been since college since I've had any docking experience, just it doesn't come up. I'm married now.
I thought it was just apropos that a lot of people are going to be doing a lot of docking over the next few days as we approach the holiday. According to Boat US, most docking disasters happen because people come in too fast. Kevin, have you ever rushed your docking and immediately regretted it?
Only 1 year at the landing during the 4th of July show, because there's just so many people around. You feel rushed.
Right.
You feel naturally rushed, and that can lead to some improper
anxiety.
docking.
Yeah. Keith, Boat US says that communication is the key to good docking. Are you more of a talker during docking, or do you prefer complete silence?
It depends on the confidence level of my docking partner.
Now, was eye contact a form of communication in docking?
I don't know. I hadn't considered that.
I've never really been into the ropes and stuff, though, either. I'm kind of a natural docker.
Right. Do you think confidence helps with docking, or is it overconfidence that's usually the problem?
I think it's overconfidence. People get cocky. Sometimes people have drinks in them.
Yeah.
Got a few cold ones in their system.
Too many whiskeys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever watched someone else's docking attempt and thought, I could probably dock better than that person?
Weekly on YouTube, I watch docking incidents gone bad.
I'm not a watcher. I'm a more of a doer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the proper etiquette?
I don't have enough chairs in my bedroom.
The waterways are going to be very crowded. We can all agree on that. What's the proper etiquette when multiple people are trying to dock at the same time?
It probably needs to, you need to have communication, and everybody on the same page. Everybody has to know what's happening and when's happening, and, everything be a consensual act. Docking has to be consensual.
Absolutely. Have either of you ever had a docking incident that you'd rather forget?
One time, my grandfather let me do the docking, and I hit the corner of the pillar, let's say, coming in, and he wasn't too happy about that. But, that's one good thing about this area is you got so many people that have lived here for such a long time. They have so much nautical experience that they're pretty, much experts in docking.
Right.
And they rarely slip up, rarely make any mistakes, and it's very smooth.
And the boat captain's backing down during docking.
Correct. Correct.
That's pretty fun to watch.
Now, all that being said, we do have a very big tourist and boat rental industry. We are going to have a lot of first-time dockers coming to the table. Do you think that people need formal docking lessons before they're allowed anywhere near Crab Island?
I do, and part of it, like you said, is because of the first-time dockers. And second of all, especially this time of year, we all know that some cold Steve Weisers are going to play a big factor in docking incidents.
Right, and I actually read that article. There's not a lot of docking problems in Israel. They don't really seem to have that issue.
They do a lot of ducking over there.
Ducking, but not docking.
Duck, goose.
I was reading that same article, and they're saying that, the second Biggest problem is problematic protrusions.
Oh,
with
you're
docking.
right.
I mean, it's been since ninth grade since I've had any problem like that.
Yeah, your slip neighbor may have left a fishing rod or scrub brush in a rod holder that's angled out. Workers may have laid an 8-foot board across a 6-inch dock, or perhaps someone swung down the
It's
6-foot
average.
dock, swung down their outriggers to work on them and forgot to swing them back up. Now, for whatever reason, there's something solid protruding into the space where you intended to dock.
Yeah, if anybody's ever been cut or scraped or nicked by a barnacle, they'll know.
Yeah. But what's more embarrassing, a bad docking experience or an audience watching you dock?
Definitely an audience watching you dock, because I think probably the worst part about docking or improper docking is getting caught.
Yeah, you're probably right. There's always, with social media, you never know when you're going to get caught on someone's doom scrolling, docking incorrectly or inappropriately.
Especially with all this day and age of these TikTok lawyers and TikTok First and Fourth Amendment people who basically film in public because they know there's nothing anybody can do about it, but they know that some people don't know the law and they're going to call the police, and they get to, quote, school the law about the law.
Right.
And so, there's when you go into public, which docking mostly happens in public, you lose your right to privacy.
Right.
Very true. And when a docking goes wrong, is it usually operator error or bad conditions, some other variable?
I would say a high percentage is operator error.
Sure.
Because,
Yeah.
if you think if you try to dock in bad conditions, I still think that still would fall back on the operator.
Yeah, it's you get a little wave action, and
Yeah,
they don't line up, and stuff.
Anchor and let
Yeah.
it pass.
It's
Right.
probably easier if you just have someone assist with the docking.
Correct. Or
100%.
just anchor, let the conditions pass, then continue your docking once things
Right, you
start to
can't
clear
rush
up.
it. You
No,
can't rush
no.
it. And cleanliness, I would imagine, would help too. And that's the protrusion.
You don't want a dirty
Yeah.
docking slip.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
Are you parallel docking or straight in docking?
I've tried both, and I noticed straight in is easier, but parallel it's kind of a flex.
Depends on the equipment.
Yeah, parallel's
Yeah.
kind of a flex because there's not a lot of people that can parallel dock compared to straight up docking.
Right. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Boat US says the secret to successful docking is slowing down, communicating clearly, and not panicking. Kevin, which one of those gives you the most trouble?
Slowing down. I have a tendency, since I have experience, to kind of want to dock quickly and get out
it
of
over
there.
with. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, that
and
concludes.
that's very important for the 4th of July coming up.
For sure.
All right, that includes the segment on docking. On deck is open phone line, 850-374-3468.
Tell us about your experiences.
Yeah, let's hear all about it. Gareth Stearns, Kevin Horgan, and Keith Nix will be right back on Fort Walton Beach, What We're Doing.
Fort Walton, that's my